Welcome to Raj Malhotra's daily YouTube session. Today we will discuss the topic that is cryptocurrency and money laundering. Recently, the Finance Ministry has come out with a notification that brings the crypto assets under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So, what does this essentially means? That we will discuss, and what are the implications of such a move, that will also be discussed in detail. So first of all, what this news means to us, basically that Finance Ministry brings crypto assets under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. It essentially means that it widens the ambit of this particular act. Earlier, Prevention of Money Laundering Act's definition was not covering the use of crypto assets or cryptocurrencies with respect to the money obtained from the illegitimate or illegal sources, but now cryptocurrencies have been included under its definition. So the scope or the ambit of the act has been widened with respect to this act. This is in detail. This is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, that is 2002. Then basically why, or first of all we will discuss that what this notification states, that what is a basic content or what is the basic composition of this notification. So this notification states that the Finance Ministry has notified the transactions involving you must remember here, it can also be asked in exchange, transfer and safekeeping of crypto assets under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So what does this essentially mean is that government is trying to say is that crypto assets or cryptocurrencies have been used for anti-terrorism activities, money laundering activities, drug networks, darknet sites. This is all basically where the cryptocurrencies have been used that hamper the unity, integrity, third one, sovereignty of the country, and in essentially the economic stability of the country, and promotes a situation of law and order instability. So that is why this notification has come out, where cryptocurrencies or crypto assets have been brought under the ambit of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Because crypto assets, we all know that it is a digital currency, they have been used with respect to this criminal activities. These are decentralized currencies, okay. They have been used on the darknet sites which are untraceable or which are very hard to detect, which remains outside the ambit of the government agencies, and promotes situation which can promote economic instability, then may promote, if it is used for terrorist activities, may promote a law and order situation, and in essentially hampers the unity, integrity and sovereignty of the country. Further, what the notification states, that the PMLA coverage is set to widen the taxation and regulatory net, as it also covers the exchange between, you must remember this, exchange between virtual digital assets and the fiat currencies. Obviously, you in all your classes you must have heard about the fiat currency concept. So it promotes the it basically regulates the transaction or exchange that has been done between the virtual currency assets as well as the fiat currencies. Next, what does it else state about is exchange between one or more forms of virtual digital assets, then transfer of virtual digital assets, safekeeping or administration of virtual digital assets. It means basically that where an exchange has been done, where virtual digital assets or cryptocurrencies have been involved, basically that may come under the ambit of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. Whether that exchange of virtual digital assets was with other virtual digital assets, or whether that exchange was with the other fiat currency, or whether the exchange was with respect to the safekeeping of the crypto assets or the virtually digital assets, that will come under the ambit of Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So we have been hearing a term quite over and over, that is money laundering. So first of all we need to clear what is money laundering. Money laundering, what is money laundering? It means that when a money is obtained from criminal source or illegitimate means, okay, and we try to legitimate or legitimize that money, that is called as the concept of money laundering. When a money is obtained from illegal source and we try to justify that we have earned this money or obtained this money through a legal means, that is called as the concept of money laundering. So over, as I have already stated, over the period of time, basically now as government is basically tightening its control over the money laundering activities, people over the period of time, they have been using the cryptocurrencies or digital assets to launder their money and to legitimize that. So government has been trying to regulate it so that it cannot be used to create economic instability, promote law and order situation, or that money is not used for drug networks or for human trafficking or for criminal activities. Further, we also need to see that why the government felt the need for the regulation, that why government felt that it was necessary to come out with such a notification to bring the crypto assets or cryptocurrencies under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So first of all, we already know that trading in these assets has increased multifold. We all know that there are many, in fact, intermediaries that promote the cryptocurrencies, like there was WazirX, then there is something called as CoinDCX, okay, that promote the exchange of cryptocurrencies or that promote the use of cryptocurrencies. So people have been quite over the period of time investing in these currencies, and when there is a bubble, they have been earning the profits. And now also in the recent times, when the crypto market went under a lot of stress or there was a slowdown in these assets, people also lost the money, but they were not able to hold the intermediaries accountable or the market accountable, because as such there is no regulator with respect to this market. So trading in these assets has no doubt increased the multifolds, being crypto exchanges like I have told you, CoinDCX is there or WazirX was there, they have been launched, but government still did not have a clear policy on either regulating or taxing such assets. So that is why government felt it necessary that there is a need to regulate such assets first of all. Then the second issue is there was a fear among regulators and policy makers that it is being given as an alternative source of fiat currency which could be used to launder black money and finance terrorist activities. This has been already explained by me that as an alternative, because this is a decentralized source, it is untraceable, it is outside the ambit of your centralized regulatory system, that is called as RBI. So people over the period of time, specifically criminals, human traffickers, money launder individuals, they have all been using this mechanism to launder their black money or finance their terrorist activities. That is why government felt that such as law and order or economic unstable जो situation है, that may not come across, so we need to regulate this mechanism. Further, then what government felt that to regulate such a mechanism due to concern over use of black money issue or over basically with respect to not having a clear policy over this crypto assets, government came up with the mechanism to regulate them. Then government in 2022 introduced 30% income tax on gains made from cryptocurrencies. Then second thing government did was in July 2022, rules regarding 1% tax deduction, that is at source, that is also called as TDS, on cryptocurrencies also came into effect. And now third regulation that government has made is that cryptocurrencies have come under Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So why the question, what was our question, that why the need for such a regulation? The need for such a regulation was because over the fears of basically use of the cryptocurrencies, and because we do not have a clear policy with respect to the control or regulation of crypto assets. Now moving forward, we also need to know what is cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency, that may also be asked with respect to your prelims exams. See, it is a form of currency that exists first of all digitally or virtually. There is no physical currency available with respect to crypto, and there is a mechanism that is used basically for transaction, that is called as cryptography. That is why the name cryptocurrencies. Then second thing, they do not have a central issuing or regulating authority like we have with respect to our other currency, that is called as RBI. We do not have any such mechanism. Then next one, it is a decentralized system to record transactions. That is why it is very difficult to trace basically who is the issuer of the currency and who is using the currency. Then it is supported by a decentralized peer-to-peer network, that is called as blockchain. So what you have to do here is everything has been covered, but with respect to your science and technology also, for your preliminary exams, do basically research on what is blockchain technology. Okay, so this is what is cryptocurrency in nutshell. What is it? Digital or virtual currency. Then it is a decentralized mechanism, does not have a centralized regulating authority, and it uses a mechanism that is called as blockchain technology to secure the transactions. Now we will see what is the significance of such a issue. First significance is, obviously we know that basically as they have been brought under what we say Prevention of Money Laundering Act. So what will be the most enhanced significance of this is that crypto exchanges will have to report suspicious activities to Financial Intelligence Unit India. So what does this means? That if it involves a transaction, okay, that they may see that it has come from illegitimate source, okay, or was of high value transaction, it was from illegitimate source or high value transaction, it was used or invested in a sector, for example real estate is there, jewelry is there, where people use the high value money transactions to launder their money, then that transactions will be reported so that it can be seen whether the money was obtained from illegitimate source or whether it was obtained from a legitimate source. So all kind of suspicious activities will be tracked. Then it will aid the investigative agencies. How? The measure is expected to aid investigating agencies in carrying out their actions against crypto companies. As I have already told you, India do not have a clear policy with respect to the use of cryptocurrencies, nor do we have a regulatory mechanism as such like RBI is there or SEBI is there with respect to stock exchange to regulate this mechanism. So in context of that, basically cryptocurrency companies have been sometime basically defrauding their investors, they have been defrauding their clients. So it will aid the investigating agencies when such companies are defrauding. As we have already given the example, for example WazirX was there, government confiscated their assets amounting to 65 crores over their suspicious activities. So that will be the enhancing significance of this. Then monitoring movement of assets across borders. Then what it states that it will be easier for authorities to monitor the transfer of these assets outside of India if India's money laundering laws are extended to digital currency. So we will be able to go for an enhanced cooperation with respect to the outside countries, outside international platforms to track the movement of money, to track the movement of assets that have been done using the cryptocurrencies. As we already know that cryptocurrencies are digital and digital means borderless. So it is very difficult to regulate such kind of movements. So in this context, basically coverage under the Prevention of Money Laundering Act will enhance our cooperation with the another countries, and we will be able to track the movement of assets across the countries also. Further, what is the another significance is that crypto exchanges and intermediaries dealing with virtual digital assets, they will be required to perform KYC. What is KYC? That is know your client. Everybody has done a KYC basically, whether for example if you open a bank account, everybody has to perform a KYC. So in that context, every crypto exchange and intermediaries, for example I have already told you, for example like coin DCX is there, dealing with virtual digital assets, they will be required to perform know your customer mechanism so that the money or movement of transactions can be easily tracked. Then entities dealing with these virtual digital assets, they will be considered as reporting entities. ओके कौन सी होती हैं रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज? हु आर रिपोर्टिंग एंटिटीज? फॉर एग्जांपल फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशन विच इन्वॉल्व द यूजेज ऑफ high value transactions, for example 10 lakh, 50 lakhs, 1 crore, these kind of areas which can easily used as a front to launder the money. Okay, for example financial institution, banks are there, then real estate sector is there, jewelry sector is there. All these basically areas will be considered as the reporting entities, and what will they do? Basically they will be required to maintain a record of all the transactions for 5 years. Okay, they will be required to maintain a record of all the transaction. For example, if over a period of time government comes across after 2 to 3 years any suspicious transaction, then government can call for a specific record from that area or from that individual or company. So which transactions? All the transactions which are of more than 10 lakh, as I have already stated, who are reporting entities which involve high value transactions. Then where cash transactions are integrally connected and individuals value less than 10 lakhs and overall exceeds 10 lakh. For example, there are 2 to 3 individuals but they are correlated to each other in some company or in some area where they are investing, but to escape this, that companies or the reporting entities do not cover us under the recording transaction of more than 10 lakhs. They are basically doing the transaction of 5 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 2 to 3 individuals have collaborated. But we can see that, for I will give you a detailed example here. Now 3 individuals have correlated for investment in some business, they have laundered their money, but they know that if they will be covering a transaction of more than 10 lakhs per individual, then they will be covering under the record maintenance. Then but to escape this, to cover this loophole, what they did was, the individuals went for 5 lakhs per transaction so that they do not come under this provision. But government has, what has done is that it has stated that no doubt, wherever basically the individual transactions even are of more less than 10 lakhs, but overall the transaction is more than 10 lakhs basically per month, then also the transaction will be recorded. For example, per head individual amount is 5 lakhs, but so they escape this transaction. But if I go for the collaborative amount, then it is 15 lakhs per month, then also the transaction will be covered under this specific area. So what this, in nutshell, it states that the reporting entities will have to record all the transactions for 5 years where the individual has gone for more than 10 lakh transaction, or where the reporting entities seem to deem fit to see that the individuals are closely integrated. Okay, to escape this transaction, okay, they are covering the amounts or doing the transactions of less than 10 lakhs, but their overall amount exceeds the 10 lakhs, so they will also be recorded, their transaction will also be recorded under this. So further, what are the challenges with respect to this? Obviously government has notified the transaction, but there are also some challenges. For example, the first challenge is that implementing the requisite compliant measures needs time as well as resources. We need infrastructure, we need internet connections, we need skilled human personnel. Okay, then we need a time with respect to this. There is a compliance time that should be given to the companies, exchanges or the intermediaries. Then absence of a direct regulator, we have already seen that basically who will be covering this, all this. For example, with respect to the money usage, we have RBI. With respect to the insurance, then we have IRDA. Then with respect to the stock exchange, we have SEBI. But as such, there is no direct regulator to see the implementation, to see what are the, how companies are abiding by the process. So that also creates a challenge. So there are concerns with the fresh notification and its enforcement in absence of a direct regulator. Then there is an issue with respect to the transition time. The notification does not offer entities any transition time to adhere to the fresh norms. Companies have been asked to adhere now without any basically delay, without any gestation period. That also creates a basically hue and cry or some sort of issue or some sort of challenge for them, because as such we have already stated that you need infrastructure, you need human personnel, then you need internet connections, then you need to study the notifications, what are the clauses, you need some sort of gestation period to effectively implement the notification. So that has also been not given to the company. So companies are some, or intermediary exchanges are some sort of fearful with respect to that, if they will not be adhering to the notification, what will be the consequences. So that is the issue. Then what will be the conclusion with respect to this? Conclusion is very simple, that obviously we will state that the move is a good step to curb money laundering activities which could produce instability in the countries. I have already stated you economic instability is there, then law and order problem is there, okay. But however, the concerns should be addressed so that the business and economic growth is not impacted. What are the concerns? We already know that there is no direct regulator, transition time is not there, then there is issue with respect to time and resources. All these things should be addressed so that the notification can be effectively implemented and our task of eliminating the money laundering activities can also be achieved. So that is all for today. Okay, thank you, all the best.